Thank you, Patrick. Good afternoon, everybody. I want to start by recognizing Your Excellency, Secretary Ban Ki-moon, and as everybody else, a pleasure to see you continuing the fight. Of course, Kristalina, Ngozi, Akin, Odile, everybody. I'm great to see Jabal, Rola. Great to see everybody here for this really interesting conversation. Allow me to quote Nelson Mandela. He said, "For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others." I think the conversation we're having here today is really about how we can enhance the freedom of others. If you are African, over the weekend, we lived a governance problem, which is a problem, I think, when COVID started, we were not only talking about COVID, we were talking about climate, and we were talking about leadership on the continent. And we see that if we cannot find solutions to the challenges of prosperity on our continent today, we may see a lot more regression. And so I have been talking about dynamic divergence. The developed world allowed itself $20 trillion to respond to the COVID crisis. Many speakers this afternoon and this morning have spoken about $100 billion for Africa. When you compare the numbers, it is almost insignificant, but the populations that are listening to us are wondering, what does adaptation mean? Africa is looking for prosperity. Africa needs and defines climate adaptation as prosperity. 250 million people will go to bed hungry tonight. 400 million people have no energy. That is what adaptation means for Africa and for that little girl and that woman who wakes up every morning. And I want to join my voice with yours to say that we need to bring this down to those people and when they wake up. Now, 3 bold ideas, and I must thank Kristalina. She's not here today or now, but, and to repeat what President Tshisekedi said, first of all, we must put a price to carbon. When we talk about carbon, we talk about the peatlands of Central Congo, where 1,045,000 square kilometers are actually sequestering 30 billion tons of carbon. Imagine if we were to monetize that, we could finance every debt obligation on the continent today. So the conversation around debt cannot be divorced from what Africa is doing to ensure that we live in a clean and climate-safe environment. And this must be monetized. And if we have to go to Glasgow with only that as a result, I think, as Ngozi also said, let's put together a working group. The ECA is willing, the UN family together, to come together and see how we price carbon and pay for carbon. Because if we do that, then the financing conversation becomes much easier. I want to congratulate the African Development Bank for Africa's Accelerated Program, which is a concrete idea on how we can finance elements of this adaptation program. But most importantly, $13 trillion still sits in the private sector. And I think Faike has said that, and he has considered himself the 3rd largest emitter in the private sector. But less than $1 billion, 1% of green bond financing is invested in Africa. We have about $859 billion of financing that goes to green bonds. Let me give you an example, Egypt. Egypt has a good macroeconomic framework, but when Egypt goes to the market to finance its green bonds, it has the same price as a plain vanilla bond. Why will Egypt bother? There's no incentive, and I think that maybe with the Nordic Fund and a couple of other funds, we can work to see how we can reduce the price of green emission bonds on the continent. And finally, SDRs, the largest transformative thing in the financing world that has happened in the last 25 years is the issuance of $650 billion of SDRs. We cannot sit around this table and assume that we will finance climate change without using the SDRs. We must, as the African presidents are calling, 25% of SDRs to be on-lent to the developing world to solve the climate finance problem. And Kristalina's Resilient and Sustainability Trust is a beginning. The Liquidity and Sustainability Facility that the ECA is launching is also a continuation of how we bring together the public and the private sector to solve this problem.